Hey everyone, it's Raj from 3CB. Arsenal star Bukayo Saka had to leave the club's first Champions League group stage road match with what looked to be a lower leg injury. My initial thought was that he had a hamstring issue due to two different reasons. Firstly, the way that the physio was assessing Bukayo, he had him on the ground, laying down on his back in a 90-90 position, meaning hip flex in 90, knee bent to 90, and then was extending that leg detention, the hamstring. That typically is a test when you suspect a hamstring injury, and that 99 position actually slacks sciatic nerve, so it takes that nerve involvement out of it, which can potentially muddy up your findings. Secondly, in post-match, manager Mikel said that Saka had felt something after he had done a back heel, and a back heel typically involves mostly hip extension, which also involves the hamstrings. The day after the match, we had confirmation from multiple reports that Saka did indeed have a hamstring injury and that he's also dealing with a knock to the thigh. The knock to the thigh shouldn't be the limiting factor here, as all those can be quite painful. They can resolve quite quickly. However, the hamstring is going to be the limiting factor on Saka's timeline. What we have heard thus far is that it's considered not a serious injury, that it's a minor strain. According to the British Athletics Muscle Injury Classification, or BMIC for short, this very much sounds like a grade 1 injury. These typically come on a scale of 4 grades: grade 0, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. And they designate not only the severity of the tear, but also other key factors as well, including the specific location of the injury, whether it's in the muscle belly, whether it's musculotendinous, which is the junction between the muscle and the tendon, or it's more so in the tendon. Each of those can have an impact on the overall severity and return timeline. Other key considerations for Saka's return include which of the hamstring muscles was injured, because each of the hamstring muscles take on different loads and demands during hamstring actions. Further, Saka's playing style is one that is based not heavily on pace, which puts the highest demand on the hamstrings, unlike, say, his counterpart on the other wing, Gabriel Martinelli. But Saka is more of a ball-to-foot player, which does bode well for his return. However, we know in Mikel's system, with how aggressively they're on the front foot in the press, with how much the wingers are asked to track back, there's still a heavy demand on the players with their sprinting and their fitness. Additionally, Saka is a player who is now known to be able to play through mild discomfort if needed, and that's not something all players can do. With these variables in mind, and reporting that he hasn't been ruled out for Sunday yet, this is very much a day-to-day injury and rehab process. The club will see how he's responding to treatment, how he's responding to progressive intensity, and then make a decision based on that information. The risk-reward calculus here will be a really interesting one. So on the risk side, you of course have a key talisman player who can get re-injured and make things worse and be out for an extended period of time. Now on the reward side, you have a club like Arsenal who's playing their main Premier League title rival down 1 point on the season, potentially able to go up 2 points, and not just have that, but also potentially make a statement in terms of finally being able to beat City during a regular season matchup, which could be critical moving forward as well. Then you throw in the fact that you have an international break coming afterwards, and that adds another added variable. Overall, this is a situation where Arsenal's medical protocols and processes will be critical, just like any of their previous injuries. It's that same process that has cleared Saka to play after he's taken knocks and he's been fit for games. So that will be part and parcel with him being available. But then of course, as I touched on, there's other considerations to think about as well. Regardless of his availability for the City game, One key positive is that this injury could have been much worse. In this case, it sounds very, very minor. And even if he doesn't play versus City, he should be ready to go after the international break. And this could potentially be a good wake-up call for Arteta to manage Saka's in-game minutes a little bit better and get him out of games earlier rather than having him languish in games where he has a knock like he did versus Tottenham, or in games where the club is already out of sight as they were over the weekend. I'll keep you updated as we learn more information, and I fully expect the club to keep Saka's availability versus City very, very close to the chest.